Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Painted Dog TV. Myself and Basil out with you all this afternoon. It's a gorgeous afternoon. The sun's just come out. It's actually been a little bit overcast for the first little bit of the afternoon. There's a bit of cloud around. No rain predicted tonight, however. But very excited to be out here with you all, everyone. And we're just starting here at Lemunda and Krip. Birds that are quite upset here. They're just chasing each other. Sounds like some arrow-marked babblers having a territorial squabble. But yeah, a very warm welcome to you folks. I'm going to be going past a couple of the water holes this afternoon because it is quite a hot afternoon, so I'm hoping we might get lucky with some elephant, maybe some rhino around the water this evening. Starting here at Lemunda and Krip. Now obviously, as you can clearly see, nobody's drinking here right now, but it's always a good place to come and have a look to see if there's any fresh tracks. There are fresh tracks, relatively fresh tracks of a rhino that's had a drink here recently. Looks like a couple white rhino that had a drink here. You can clearly see their tracks crossing the road here. It looks like maybe from this morning. If you look at this particular track right here, you can see that somebody's burrowed up from under the soil in the middle of that rhino's track. It actually looks like there were 2 or 3 white rhino here. The tracks do go up and down a bit. I'm just going to take a drive up the road and see if they didn't pop out there and head north towards Seskant Krip. Yeah, but on hot summer days like today, water's always a good bet, particularly for these big animals that are dependent on water, regular water. Just going to quickly greet all of our pack members that have joined us this afternoon. Hello Carol, hello Mary, hello Jennifer, good afternoon Barbara, hello Betty. Hello Ashbalicious. Hello Jan. Good afternoon Ian. Hello. Hello Willow. Hello Sarah. Hello Alicia. Joining us. Very excited to see you this evening. I think these are probably the same 3 white rhino that I bumped into last night, heading south back towards camp. Andrew and I actually got really lucky on the way home. Once we'd wrapped up our drive, we were heading back from Leadwood, racing the rain that actually never came, but it looked rather ominous. And we bumped into the black rhino cow and calf just a bit further north of here, close to Seskant Krip. Awesome sighting of them in the dark. They were quite relaxed at first, and then eventually just trotted away from us. It was quite funny. We couldn't see them anymore, but we heard the farting as they trotted away from us, those two black rhino. And literally like 300 meters later, then bumped into 3 white rhino, all along this same road here, Seskant Pat. Really amazing to see that many rhino. We'd seen a cow and a calf white rhino prior to that during our live safari. So lots of rhinos yesterday, and it certainly looks like tracks of the same 3 rhino here, white rhino, that headed back that way. Doesn't look like they came back up along here, but I did want to get to Seskant Krip just to see if there weren't any fresh signs of that black rhino cow and calf potentially coming down to drink again there. So we are going to head that way, everybody. Just go scout out that area. Sounds like all the lions are still on Kai and Ndlovu. They're still on the eastern side of the reserve. Everyone, after having checked out Seskant Krip, this little waterhole up here, is we might just then cut northeast towards Lowveld Dam, see if we don't pick up on any 2 cubs, and go also check out that beautiful waterhole. I haven't been up there for quite a while, and it is very productive with rhino on a hot day. Just going to quickly hop off the vehicle here, everyone, and check this little corner here for tracks. I always get off at this point here because it's this little 2-track here that takes you down into the Deep Sloot River, and I've often come across leopard tracks here, also hyena tracks. They move in and out of this drainage line, the dry riverbed. But today it's amazing, there's just tons of impala tracks here. The leopards know it, that there's often impala along this stretch here, parallel to the riverbed leading up between these 2 waterholes, which is where the impala drink on a regular basis. And the leopards use the drainage line, the Deep Sloot River, as cover to sneak up on these herds of impala. Very, very thick woodland along the banks of the Diepsloot River. No tracks of any leopards there today, however. Some zebra walking along the road to our south. Looks like just two of them, just a pair of them. Some very busy tails. There's a lot of flies at the moment. Jeez. They drive me mad. Alicia, yes, there is news on the painted dogs. Our pack here are hopefully about to get some females. Our pack of males that are in the boma. The good news is that we've found 3 females that are suitable to pair with our males, and we're hoping that we might even be able to move them sometime this week. We're just waiting on permits. But the great news is that we do have females that are compatible, so as soon as the permits arrive, we'll be actioning that move and bringing these 3 females from the Salati Game Reserve here to the Rietspruit Game Reserve and doing the bonding process, where we basically put all the dogs to sleep and then rub them all over one another. Try rub as much scent as we can from one dog to the next. So that when we wake them up, they of course initially will be confused seeing, other dogs, but will very quickly smell each other and recognize each other's scent or their own scent on the other dog and think, okay, well, cool, we're all pack members, everything's fine. And and then we'll leave them in the boma for probably about 6 weeks after they've bonded, just to settle the females, because of course this will be a whole new patch for them. And they'll be a little bit unsettled after the move, so we'll just let them settle for 6 weeks and then we'll be releasing them onto our reserve here, which is very exciting. Can't wait for that. I can't wait to actually see the whole process. I've never been involved with the bonding process like this before, so it's a whole new learning curve for me too, which is very exciting. Hello Becky, hello Suzanne, lovely to have you with us ladies. A very warm welcome to this beautiful part of the world. Jennifer, to answer your question as to what the dogs will most likely do once they're released, well, we are hoping that they might actually mate pretty soon after being bonded, and then we're very close to when the female usually gives birth to her pups, which is around May, June. And so we're all crossing our fingers and toes, hoping that she might then den on the Rietspruit Game Reserve and raise those puppies here, which will keep them around for a couple months at least, usually about 3 months before the pups are big enough and strong enough to then leave the den site area and run with their pack. But I think the reality is, and we've seen it before here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve, there's a very high probability that they'll leave, especially if they have regular run-ins with our lions. They'll want to get away from that pressure. So we've seen that happen in the past, and the dogs escape, and there's been some luck where they've made it into the Kruger system, the greater Kruger system. Monkey's alarm calling here. Definitely a predator close to the Diepsloot River here, everyone. Okay, hold on tight, guys. I'm going to quickly try and get around there. There is a little two-track, a little road that cuts back towards the Diepsloot River here. Just want to try and get there as fast as I can. That monkey's definitely seen a predator, so most likely a leopard. Could of course be one of the other cats, but because of where we are, the habitat we're in, and the fact that I know that most of the lions are on Kind Global, would suggest that it's probably a leopard. Come on, leopard. We know that one of these female leopards that are operating in this area, I believe there's 2 of them. We know that they come out of the riverbed here as well at the end of this road. This road ends pretty much on the bank of the Diepsloot River. You used to be able to go into the river off this road, but there's a massive tree that's fallen over, so we cannot enter the river anymore. But the leopards still can come and go from this point. Rattling like that, Basil. Not hearing that monkey anymore. It did sound, from what I heard earlier, like it was the tail end of its alarm call, like the predator had already moved on somewhat. It's just through here. You can see that dead tree just through there, everybody. These leopards come up from the river at that point. And we must be pretty damn close to where this monkey was alarm calling earlier. Just gonna sit here for a minute or two and see if I don't hear anything. Well, we know for sure now that that monkey can no longer see the predator. It's gone completely quiet. Have a look at this game path and see if there's any tracks here. Here are the monkeys. Monkeys are right here in this tree above me here. So pinpoint accuracy in getting to where the monkeys were. Now the question is, what did they see? Whatever they saw, my gut tells me was in the river here, which is right below me here. Back everybody, riverbed. Hello again, everybody, for my absence. Just been down in the river looking for signs of whatever predator was upsetting these monkeys. You can hear the monkeys have started going off again, so they had gone quiet. Clearly that predator's on the move again. Expect it's probably a leopard. There are a female leopard down the river here, going the opposite direction. I actually see that's doing the alarm, looking south. So that means this predator is moving south. It's moving away from the monkeys. Leopards will often do that when they've been spotted by the monkeys. They hate being spotted, they hate being exposed, so they very quickly will move to get away from the monkeys, so that the monkeys go quiet, and once again, you know, they are moving undetected while they go hunting. I just so wish I could get into the river here, but I can't. Literally cannot enter the river at all from this point. But I am going to go south, everybody. Now that I've seen that monkey and I see which direction it's looking, I'm going to quickly go back a bit further south and see if we can drop into the Deep Slit River a bit further south, and then come back towards these monkeys, and maybe we'll get lucky. Still alarm calling. I can still hear it behind us. Just got to make sure we don't drive past whatever predator this is in these very dense thickets here between this road and the Deep Slit River. With the monkeys sounding the alarm, it might move away from the river completely and come across the road here. Try and get a bit of distance between itself and the monkeys. So we're now directly opposite that monkey. I can hear it still alarm calling here to my right. So it can still see this predator. Yes, indeed. Perverts certainly doing their best to help me try to find this cat for you all. Now we just got to hope, everybody, that the gremlins don't play up once we do get into the Rietspruit River here. They have been rather nasty, the gremlins, of late. Let's see how it goes. Sounds like the monkeys have gone quiet again. Can no longer see the predator. Fingers crossed, everyone. We're about to drop down into the river. You look at the habitat we have in here now, everyone, and you can clearly see this is overgrown jungle. How are we looking now, VM? Still bad. Okay. So I believe the gremlins have already stepped in, everyone. Hopefully they'll improve. No tracks of any predators yet. Just baboon tracks. Some incredible trees along here. Very well established, massive trunk. Perfect for We are now very close, everybody, to where the monkeys were alarm calling. Breathe, holding my breath every time I along the, it was not in the river at all. Have alarm, they've now got to the point where those monkeys were alarming. This is where I walk down into the river, everybody. So as I mentioned before, this monkey was at the top of this tree here. When I walked into the river here, everyone, I saw this monkey sitting at the top of this big jackalberry tree here. And every now and then it would glance back at me, this monkey, but when it was alarm calling, it was facing south. And you could see it was actually standing up on its back legs, trying to get higher up off the canopy to look at that predator further south, and it was continuing to alarm call. So perhaps when I started walking down here, the predator may have either seen me or heard me and then started moving again. And then the monkey spotted that predator again and started alarm calling. I'm convinced there's a leopard here somewhere. But I'm going to turn around, everybody, and get out of the Deep Split River, because there's no signs in here, well, old signs around the bend there, but not of what upset these monkeys. Just go back up along Seskan Putt again and see. Maybe this leopard is headed out that way. It's always fun though, always exciting when the monkeys alarm call. And of course beautiful to be down here in this riverbed. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Probably sitting up here laughing at me somewhere in these very dense thickets. Imagine we now find leopard tracks on top of our vehicle tracks, now having turned around. Well, that would get the heart rate going, that's for sure. Right, everybody, I'm just now exiting the river again, and I do apologize, my YouTube channel had frozen, so I've missed a lot of the questions, but I'll go back and get to them. Still haven't given up hope of finding this predator, by the way, everyone. I'm just going to now slowly move around and circle the block one more time, head up towards Seskankrip, which may have even been this predator's intended destination. It's just had to do a bit of a detour to get away from the monkeys. So we're going to head up to Seskankrip and go have a look at that waterhole next. But just, like I say, slowly move around this block again. Never know. Impala in there. Just one or two impala back there, but they were very relaxed. Not easy to see them though, just a couple of legs. Suzanne, I see you've asked how many leopards we have here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. It's hard to say for sure, but animals that have established territory and are resident leopards, there's probably somewhere between 10 to 15 leopards across the entire reserve. So that includes the portion we're on, Blaubank at the moment, Leadwood further to the north, and then Kai and Glovu to the eastern part of the reserve. There's a lot of leopards here. Sadly, most of them, however, are very shy, very skittish, not habituated yet to vehicles. It takes a long time for that process to come right. Leopards have been prosecuted and are still prosecuted in this area quite extensively, unfortunately. And so still associate vehicles with danger. We have managed to habituate to some degree a couple of the individuals, however. Jennifer's asked what year was the whole reserve reclaimed back from farmland. It's a very good question. I don't actually know the exact answer, but I think Leadwood, which is the residential part of this reserve further to the north. Oh, look at that beautiful sighting here of impala mixing with the zebra we had earlier. More zebra now too that have come out. Absolutely stunning. That's a lovely shot. Yeah, I suspect that the reserve, was probably returned back to a nature reserve about 15 years ago, would be my guess. Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 20 years ago. How beautiful are those impala, everybody, and the zebra. Exactly what this predator will be looking for. Impala are certainly checking us out. They're like, hey, what the hell are you doing here? The zebra too. It's almost like we're their entertainment for the afternoon. Beautiful animals. Healthy animals. Often come across this where you have two different species mixing together like this. usually because they're feeding on the same grasses. At the same time, they are smart enough to know that it's safety in numbers, grazing together. I'm glad to hear it, Jennifer. It is certainly an absolutely stunning scene right here. Picture perfect. You can see the animals have now settled down a lot as well. Since we first stopped here, they're all watching us, and they've now realized that we're not getting any closer, and so they're comfortable and happy and going back to their business of grazing. Oh, certainly the impala. Zebras are still a little bit suspicious. Right, everybody, I'm going to slowly move up the road here towards Siskan Krip. Maybe that leopard's going to pop out on the road here in front of us. We certainly would have earned it if that does happen. Given it our best. Oh, sorry Betty, I only saw your question now. I actually didn't notice that. Very possible, however, that one of those mares was pregnant, if it is the zebra you're referring to. Of course, all the impala have already given birth, but definitely possible that one of the zebras is pregnant. They're still dropping foals at the moment. Very good question, Becky. VM, do you copy me? I'll get back to you on that one, Becky, and find out what the keyword is for the week. VM or Andrew, do you copy? VM, just wanted to find out what the keyword was for the week, please. Thank you, sir. VM's on it, Becky. Just checking carefully to make sure that this predator hasn't stepped out and walked over my tracks here. Nothing so far.
Picking is getting mobile. Yeah, boy.
Right, so back where we were earlier, folks, where I first raced in here towards the monkey alarm calling. Haven't seen any tracks. Look at how beautiful the sunset is at the moment over the Drakensberg Mountains here. Beautiful colors, beautiful clouds. Shot through there with this tree in the foreground. Very pretty indeed. Mr. Bass, what on you? I don't know. Did you call something in now?
Rhino at Kudu Crip's got a snare on its head.
Snare on its head? Oh dear. Wonder where it would have picked that up.
Broken it loose, it's eating.
Huh.
That's where Rhino's going now.
Where was it headed?
It was there at Kudu Crip, it wasn't moving anywhere.
I'm going to go have a look there. Thanks, Wood.
The cable's still attached
Yeah.
to the thing, it's probably about 3-4 meters long. But he's not there, he's eating. It's not tight.
Sheesh, okay. We'll go have a look. Thanks. Thanks, Simon.
I know it's not his way there now.
I've been here for the last 45 minutes. There were monkeys alarm calling here by the deep slit, but I've got nothing. Cheers, Wood. Some very worrying news there from one of my very good friends, Simon, who's a Leadwood homeowner, everybody. He's just come from Kudu Crip and he's reported finding a rhino bull there with a snare around his head. So Hanno from Rhino Revolution is already on his way up there to go and try have a look. It's obviously something that we definitely need to tend to. Now, I'm not convinced it's a snare. There's not many snares here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. I suspect what it is that rhinos maybe walked into a very old piece of fence line. There used to be a lot of fences up here, everybody, when they were still farming cattle on this property a couple of years back, 20, 30 odd years ago. I still every now and then come across traces of this fence, which I pick up, of course, removed from the bush. But yeah, unfortunately there are just, some places where we're not seeing the wire. We're always looking for it. And I wonder if that's not maybe what's happened. Maybe this rhino's walked through an old piece of fence line and got it wrapped around his head. Simon did report that it is, however, grazing quite happily, but it's dragging quite a long stretch of wire with it. That's black rhino. I think these might be the tracks from last night of these black rhino. But regardless of whether it's a snare or a piece of wire from a fence, it's a problem that we'll want to address, everyone. So I'm going to head that way, folks. I'm going to head to Kudu Krip. With our camera, we'll be able to get some good footage as well that we can share with anybody in case that rhino does move away. We want to obviously try and monitor the situation as best as we can. Mary, I see you asked about the trees, shepherd's trees, where we were back there. Almost certainly. Sorry, I'm not sure which trees you were referring to. I missed your question while I was chatting to Simon. But yeah, they're very abundant in this area. Here's a lovely example right here. A shepherd's tree right here in front of us. Very, very old one, this. Amazing trees, eh? Beautiful. Boskia family. All right, let's get to Kudu Krip as quickly as we can, everyone. So Simon says when he left that rhino, it was still grazing around Kudu Krip. Fortunate thing for us on the Rietspruit Game Reserve is that in situations like these where we may need to intervene to treat an animal or remove a snare, the fortunate thing for us is there are a number of wildlife vets on call that are right here. We, in an absolute emergency, could get a vet out here within an hour. Rhino for Gareth. Rhino for Gareth.
Standing by.
What's your position?
Sunflower spot. Junction portrait.
Okay, copy. I'm also heading to Kudu Krip. Yeah, I'll be there in 4 minutes.
Yeah, copy. If you can, stay with him, please.
Copy. Now seeing rhino tracks on the road here. It does appear to be a bull. Heading straight towards Kudu Krip here. Could be the same individual. As I mentioned, everybody, Hanno from Rhino Revolution is en route as well. He'll get there probably just after us. See, here's his dun on the road here. Just want to make sure. Yeah, this is him when he walked in here. Actually, no, that's not his dung. That's elephant dung. But Kudu Krip is just up ahead here, everybody. I just wanted to make sure I'm not driving past him. You know, he may have gone this way. Rhino's moved away. I'm just going to be off the vehicle, everybody. I'm going to need to try and find his tracks, see which way he's going. It looks like he walked that way, and I've just heard another vehicle coming up the road here. That vehicle's just turned its engine off. They might have just bumped into him. There's a game path that leads away from Kudu Krip here. Looks like he's gone out on that game path towards this next road here.
Jimmy, was that you? Standing by.
Yeah. Here we go.
I am quickly going towards
This is our Rhino, I reckon.
I'll let you know if I am making my way back.
Good on you. That's why we're here.
Negative, but we did.
Damn it. Yeah, there's quite a lot of wire there. It's caught through his back foot as well. Yeah, we're definitely going to need the vets out here to come and take this off. That's going to cause a problem. Oh, so I wish I could just get off and go and cut it off myself, but of course that would be incredibly dangerous, everybody. Rhino is now just south of Kudu Krip, making his way west towards Lemunduring Oos. Hello guys. Fantastic, thank you. But as you can see, everybody, he's actually moving okay, and he's busy grazing. He is feeding just fine. Would like to see him turning so that I can try and get a look at where the wire's trapped on his body. Simon obviously said that it was around the neck. Or around the head rather. Sure. I don't know, hey, that could be... It's hard to tell so far, everybody, whether this is a snare or just fence. I'll chat to Hannah now, everybody.
Is it coming off?
Yes.
No. Have you spoken to Pete, Hannah?
Not yet.
I haven't been able to see his front, but you can see the wires now between the eyes and the ears.
Oh shit.
So it's trapped around his head now. You're gonna have to get
Yeah,
Pete out here.
tomorrow morning first thing.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna be able to do it tonight.
No, it's too late already for chopper and everything. Some video.
So you may have heard me talking to Hanoi here, everybody, who I mentioned is from Rhino Revolution and works very closely with all the rhino here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. And him and I are just saying, you know, it's probably, unfortunately, a bit too late to get the vets out and a chopper out here. We would need the chopper in order to follow the rhino once the dart has been shot in. So we're probably going to have to try to track this guy down in the morning. But what is good news is that wire is very loose around his head, and he seems to be walking around without it actually getting trapped on the legs, which is the good news. The other good news is that he's grazing just fine. He's just had a drink at Kudu Krip, and he'll only be moving around for another hour or so, and then he's going to lie down. He's going to settle for the night. Then the wire won't cause him any damage. Go ahead, Hannah. I'm just going to let Hannah go ahead of us here, everybody. He wants to have another look. Yeah, so obviously very worrying, everybody, very concerning, you know, to now have what does look potentially like a snare around this rhino's head. But the good news is he's mobile, he's moving quite nicely. That wire is not attached anywhere other than around the head, and then the rest is just dragging underneath his belly and between the legs. But while he's moving, not getting trapped anywhere, and from what I can see, it doesn't look like it'll get trapped any further tonight. It's quite a stiff piece of wire, it's what we call blowdraad. It's a very dense wire, very thick, which by the way is used for fencing, the same type of wire. And so it's not easy for that sort of wire to wrap around itself, you know, and tie a knot and then get trapped around his leg. So I think he's going to be okay till morning. And of course, you know, there are a lot of concerned people here who will monitor the situation and just stick with him at first light. We will inform Dr. Peter Rogers, and we'll just need to connect with one of the chopper pilots. But I'm almost certain we'll be able to get going here very early, first light tomorrow morning. He's even been wallowing in the mud today. He's got a nice thick layer of mud on his back, which will almost certainly be from midday today. You can see everybody really, truly is going about his usual business, even though he's got a massive piece of wire wrapped around his head.
I actually saw him yesterday. We're just checking if it was there already.
Okay, where?
Blue Wildebeest Dam.
Oh.
Jeez, he's
On it?
covered ground there.
So yesterday afternoon he was in the dam,
Yeah,
and he's just checking. There was nothing, but quite fresh then.
yeah, from today. So Hanno and Andreas are just telling me now, everybody, that they actually saw this rhino yesterday afternoon at Lowveld of South Dam, which is a waterhole that's quite a distance from here, probably about 1.5 miles. The photographs on his camera while we were sitting next to him here, and he can confirm there was no snare or no whatever this might be. It might be a fence wire. I'm certainly no expert. There was no evidence of it yesterday afternoon, so it would have been sometime this morning or sometime today that he's picked up this wire. There's a good look at him here now. He's just turned towards the road. Let's see if we can get in here. No, he's moved across. Don't worry, Basil. There's nothing we can do. It's fine. There you go. You can see it now. Also happy to note that, you know, the whole time we've been following him now, he doesn't appear to be standing on that wire either, which of course would be a problem. You know, if he stood on the tail end of the wire and then moved forward, it would force the noose around his head to tighten and eat into his flesh, but that's not happening. And it again is because of how stiff the wire is, and it's actually curled up at the end of the wire. And so therefore his foot is missing it every time. You know, we've been following him now for 10 minutes, and he's been walking the whole time, and he's not once stood on the tail end of that wire, which is great. So that is a concern, but it seems to be okay for now. And you also look at, you know, the behavior of this rhino, his demeanor. He's very relaxed, everybody. You know, if it was a stressed animal, I can assure you he would have already told us off. He would have been quite grumpy with, you know, the extra noise these two vehicles create around him. And he is completely unfazed with us following him. Just doing what White Rhino does best. Eating lots and lots of delicious fresh grass. See now that he's turned slightly how loose the wire is. Really glad about that. It's definitely not eaten into his flesh at all. I'm going to get a good look at the front of him here now, everybody. Trotting along quite happily there. Like he's going to head up towards the reservoir here on the Munduring. Not without doing some scent marking perhaps. Just gone off the side of the road there. Or maybe he's just grazing. Alicia, to answer your question, I'm not sure. I don't know if we'll be live with it. Brent and VM will decide on that tonight, I'm sure. Good point, Di. Yeah, that would be quite a problem if that did happen. It got caught on a branch, but the good thing is there's not a big loop at the, at the end end of that wire. Where that rhino is moving to now, there's a big fallen over tree. I wonder if he's not going to go have a good scratch on this tree here. Appears it's the grass he's more interested in right now. Stood on it there. Oh, I don't know. It looks like a snare to me. Sorry, big guy. We'll sort you out tomorrow. Hopefully he'll go down to rest pretty soon, everybody.
Rhino and calf have headed north into the bush by the spillway.
He's on a mission now. He's found his rhythm. So I'm just busy listening to Rhino's conversation behind me here, everybody. He's already contacted one of the chopper pilots, Jerry, to find out if he's available tomorrow morning. It sounds like he's not available. The whole of tomorrow he's booked up working on Rhino in the Kapama Private Game Reserve. So he's asked Hanno to contact Jana, who's the other pilot in the area here. Just, you see his scent marking now. I was intrigued to see how that would work with the wire. Just busy dropping dung and kicking it at a midden here next to the road, everybody. I was concerned that maybe when he kicked you would get that wire caught up, but it doesn't appear to be the case. That's good news. Look at that, eh? It's amazing watching them mark their territory like that. Yeah, so fingers crossed, everybody, that Jana will be available in the morning. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not sure. They may still attempt to do the darting and the removal without the assistance of a chopper. I'm not sure. We'll have to discuss that with the veterinarians, but I know it's risky if you don't have a helicopter, because very likely this rhino is going to run, and they sometimes can run quite a distance before the drugs take effect and before they settle down, or drop down rather. And we have to be very careful, because if we get it wrong and we can't catch up to that rhino, it'll probably die. So that's why we almost always need to have the assistance of a helicopter. Looks like he's gonna, yeah, I thought he was gonna mark his territory again. What number is this?
34.
34.
Trying to get hold of Jana because Jerry's busy tomorrow.
I overheard that, yeah. Busy spraying some urine there, everybody. Just marking his territory again. Mauricio, I hadn't mentioned it before, but this is bull number 34. We know that obviously because of the cuts in his ears from previous horn trimmings. We then mark their ears, chip their ears, so that we can identify each of our rhino here. Make sure that they're all accounted for. Looks like he's busy investigating the scent of another rhino there. You can see the dust kicking up either side of his nostrils there. He's inhaling and exhaling quite heavily. Probably picked up the scent of another rhino. He's trying to follow that scent now. Was that Jana?
No, it was Jerry. Jana's sending at the moment.
Hi, Anu. Okay, I've just heard from Jerry as well about this, but he said he'll probably contact you now. He said he'll be able to help you after his early work, but I've got to take my helicopter in for the service.
Okay, so once again, everybody, I'm just listening to the communications behind me. I know I was in communication with both pilots now, and it sounds like a plan has been made. Jerry's going to work on a couple of Rhino first light tomorrow morning, but he said that he should be able to then fly straight across from Kopama to come and do number 34 here, this pool that we have here with the snare. So that's good news, everybody. Fortunately, again, you know, we're so spoiled to have pilots on standby, vets on standby right here close to us. Kopama Private Game Reserve is literally the other side of the main highway, the public road that runs to our east. So it's a very short flight for Jerry in his chopper to get from there to here. It'll take him literally 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, a very quick flight. So this should happen still relatively early tomorrow morning. We'll have to just get out here at first light. Spraying urine again. I can see tracks of other rhino on the road here, so he's definitely on the trail of some other rhino. Possibly even the 3 that I had signs of earlier. He's probably trying to find them. But yeah, like I say, folks, so we'll be back out here first thing tomorrow morning. Yeah, he's scent marking again, to try and catch up with this guy, and then it'll be our job just to stay with him, you know, keep up with him and wait for Jerry to get out here. Don't know if you can hear that, everyone. You can certainly see it. You see how the dust is being kicked out either side of those nostrils again. He's inhaling and exhaling very deeply right now because he's on fresh scent of other rhino here. Early morning start tomorrow.
So Jerry needs to be at Kopama by 6, so afterwards he will come. Jana's not available.
How many is he doing that side?
3 only.
Okay.
Will you do them with Pete anyway?
Yeah.
Oh, then they can come straight.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Then we try to find it tomorrow. Eh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm sure our team will be out straight away, and we're obviously close here. Come straight down here and look for him.
I mean, sometimes he goes all the way down to the fence.
Yeah. Yeah, right past Hayes.
Let's see what.
I'm just now a bit concerned because he's obviously picked up the scent of these other rhino. He might change his plans slightly, but that's okay.
So the cow and calf, no, she's on twin crossings, so that
okay.
Must be 22 or the 2.
I bumped into 3 last night in the dark.
Ah, then.
Just here on Seskanpad, just north of Lemundoring Oos.
And it was 22 with the bull and the tiny horse.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
So then he might have picked up either them or the 2 heifers.
So, I bumped into the black rhino cow and calf last night as well.
You got some footage?
No, it was, it was so quick. We were off air already as well.
Huh?
We were off air. We weren't live anymore. We weren't recording. But yeah, they went west towards the deep slit, just north of Seskankrip.
Soll ich jetzt einen Spendenabruf machen oder nicht? Oder mache ich
Ja.
jetzt, die jetzt gerade draußen sind? Was denkst du, was brauchen wir?
Yeah, Betty, you make a good point there. That's definitely something that I've heard brought up in discussion before. But yeah, I mean, like I say, if this will be confirmed tomorrow if this is definitely a snare once we take it off. But if it is a snare, it'll be only the second one I've ever heard of on the Rietspruit Game Reserve, and my family's lived here for 12 years. It's a very well protected area, and there's fortunately, touch wood, been no incidents with our rhino in terms of a poaching sense. So we haven't been concerned about dehorning them and, you know, the risk of them putting their heads through a wire loop like this. But it certainly happened today. Circling back here now because of scent, I'm sure. He's changing direction. So they'll often do this if they've lost the trail of the rhino they were following. They do basically just figures of 8, circling back on themselves, looping out a bit further again until eventually he picks up on the scent. It's amazing how these rhino can find each other purely on the scent of their, you know, each other's footprints. They do, of course, defecate and urinate regularly, and so there's a lot of that build-up of urine and dung on their feet, which leaves quite a lot of scent behind. And that's how they can smell each other out. But they have a remarkable sense of smell. Yeah, he's trying to figure it out again here. Sounds like he's busy spraying urine again. For sure, Jennifer, I think that'll probably be part of the mission tomorrow as well, is to try and backtrack this rhino and figure out where he picked up that snare, just to try and see if there aren't any, you know, other potential hang-ups in that area. Mauricio, no, I don't think anyone's going to stay with him through the night. I reckon Hanno and Andreas will probably be here for a while though. I think they're going to try and see if he does lay down. So usually it doesn't take long after dark, half an hour to an hour max, and usually the rhino will then settle for the night. So I know these guys are so passionate and dedicated, they'll probably stick around until he lies down. Coming back here again, looks like it. Just going to reposition one more time here, everybody. Looks like he might be coming back towards the reservoir here. Where? Oh wow, hang on. More rhino running past us here. Oh dear, and he's on it. With the wire. Oh dear. Slow down, buddy, slow down. Oh my goodness, everybody. How incredible was that? Jeez, they really do crash through the bush when they're chasing each other. It's unreal. Wow, that was unbelievable. The good news, everybody, is that he didn't trip himself up on that wire while he was chasing these two young white rhino cows. Phew. Wow, jeez, what a dramatic afternoon. My goodness. Well, I'm glad he's found them, because what that'll mean now is he'll just trail these two young heifers, everybody. He'll stick with them tonight. They're not going to ditch him straight away. He'll probably be in their company for at least the next 12 hours, which is really good news. Can still hear them. They're huffing and puffing, but they're not running anymore. They're moving slowly away from us here. So we now know that he'll, like I say, he'll be with those two cows. And yeah, they'll settle somewhere close by, I'm sure. As soon as the cows lie down, he'll just go and rest, you know, like 10, 15 yards from them. I know, I'm heading off.
All right.
See you in the morning.
Yes.
Have a nice evening, guys. Thank you. Unreal. Jeez, what a moment with him discovering those two cows and them running right around us. Sure. It's quite a scary thing when you have 2 tons thundering towards you like that. You always just hope that they're not going to run into you. They, of course, don't have the greatest peripheral vision, and so it is always a concern, but fortunately they saw us and went around us. Unreal. Oh yeah, fingers crossed that they'll stay together. First of all, they'll stay together, those 3. It's a lot easier for us to also track 3 rhino than just 1. So tomorrow morning, first light, it's going to be a lot easier to track, like I say, the 3 individuals versus just the bull. And they might also slow him down somewhat. White rhino cows don't generally tend to cover massive distances in a day while they're grazing. Different with the bulls, they've got territory which they're constantly having to mark, so they cover big distances in maintaining their presence. So that's a good thing as well, is if he does stick with the cows, they're hopefully not going to be too far from where we've left them tonight, everybody. And then yeah, we just got to hope and pray that we find them again in the morning, and we hope that Dr. Peter Rogers and Jerry, the chopper pilot, can get out here as soon as possible. Unfortunately, in wildlife management, nothing's ever guaranteed. Things always happen. It changes constantly, and we're dealing with wild animals. So Hannah was just saying to me now, Jerry needs to dart 3 rhino at Kapama before he can fly out here. Now, I've watched them dehorn rhino 50 times, and only on maybe 2 out of those 50 times have I seen the pilot struggle, and he just can't find the rhino. Not before the dart's gone in, but before the dart's gone in, not after the fact. So 9 times out of 10, these guys do get it right. They're incredible at what they do, the vets and the pilots. And so if it all goes smoothly in the morning, Jerry should be able to get those 3 rhino within an hour. If they're relatively close to each other on the reserve, he'll get them pretty quickly, depending on the size of the ground team, of course. Now he'll do that at first light, which will be just after 5 a.m. We're still going to have to come out here at 5 a.m. and try to track these guys down. And and then we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the morning, everybody. Fingers crossed tomorrow goes to plan. Copy. Wow, what an evening. right, everybody. We are gonna bid you farewell for the evening. We'll keep you updated as to what's going to happen on our social media tomorrow. But thank you very much for joining us tonight. Before I go, however, I just wanted to quickly throw out the keyword for the week, which is mutualism, everybody. So for those of you who are keen, I know Becky's keen on getting her hands on the high resolution image for the week. The keyword this week, folks, is mutualism. Thanks for joining us, guys. Epic afternoon. Work to do tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Stay safe. Have a lovely evening or a lovely day wherever you are. And we'll see you very soon. Cheers, everybody.